Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the tankiest tank of them all? For it's Reinhardt, you see, his huge sustain and defensive capabilities make him wonderful for both advanced and new players alike. He is simply incredible. This is a game-winning hero when used correctly. There's a lot of nuances. It goes beyond just the basics of you shield, you slam, you slide, and throw a fireball. When you play correctly, Reinhardt is the tank of Overwatch right now, and a character that needs to be in your arsenal. Despite Reinhardt being labeled a beginner hero, he really requires a lot of game knowledge. The test of a truly skilled Reinhardt is when do they play passively and when do they get aggressive. New Reinhardts often make the mistakes of being way too aggressive, trying to go after kill, leaving their teammates in the dust and ignoring the backbone of this character, which is to protect and support your teammates. Yes, you have an incredible aggressive potential, but when you leave your teammates in the middle of nowhere, you do them a disservice. The strengths of Reinhardt include the fact that he can reliably protect his team from high amounts of damage, and you've got great melee damage as well. You're very good at initiating fights, and your ult has incredible team wiping potential. You're viable on both attack and defense and fit into almost any team composition right now in Overwatch. Your weaknesses include the fact that you're pretty slow. You have low damage outside of your melee range, you cannot perform any actions while protecting your teammates with the barrier field, and you also need teammates for protection and support to stop those pesky tracers and Pharahs from getting behind your shield and tearing you up. Your left click is the rocket hammer, and it's a melee swing, 75 damage per hit, and it swings in a very wide arc with quite the generous hitbox. Your right click is the iconic barrier field, the large shield that while activated you move slower, it can absorb up to 2000 damage, and when inactive it will recharge. 2 seconds after the shield is no longer active, that's when the regen starts, 225 points per second. If the shield is destroyed due to absorbing too much damage, it cannot be activated again for 5 seconds, and it still has to recharge at the exact same rate of 225 per second. Your shift action is the charge, which is on a pretty long cooldown of 10 seconds. If you touch somebody during the slide, you'll immediately deal 50 damage to them, but if you actually pin them and slide them into the wall, you'll deal 300 damage. You get the picture, right? You're going to kill everybody that's not a tank as long as you're landing that pin. You can aim the charge with the A and D key or left and right if you're on the controller. That'll aid you in landing more of them. Here's the deal though, you cannot be missing these charges over and over again because they'll leave you out of position. The recovery animation, if you miss, takes a long time, and it's not something that should be used and spammed. You need to use the charge when you know you can pin the enemy or knock them back. If you just come into contact with the edge of a player, you'll see here, boom, they get a knockback effect, which is useful for bumping people off of maps with edges. Your E is your skill shot, Fire Strike. It's a 6-second cooldown projectile attack that deals 100 DPS, and it also goes through shields. Good Reinhardts land this over and over and over again, and it's a true test of a practiced Reinhardt if they can land this Fire Strike. Also, if enemies are lined up in a row, it'll go through multiple of them. It does not stop at the first enemy that it hits. Your ult, Earth Shatter, is super powerful, but I often see new Reinhardt players waiting for the perfect situation where 4 dudes are all clumped up and they can get this massive slam, when they ignore the fact that Earth Shatter is amazing at shutting down key enemy ults and plays. Even if it means you're having to use Earth Shatter on just 1 or 2 opponents, if strategically it makes sense to shut down an enemy ult and you're in that position, do it. After landing your ult, the combo is Fire Strike first, then Rocket Hammer. So you ult, you use your E, and then you use your left click for the melee. The reason is your E deals 100 DPS, your left click deals 75 DPS. It frustrates me when I see people missing the combo. They ult, then they either slide into the enemies, or they Rocket Strike first. I even make that mistake myself too sometimes. For new Reinhardt players, I would urge you to lean on the side of being a more defensive player, pushing the payload and offering a shield to your teammates. But remember, you can't just shield the entire game. At some point, you need to choose when is the right time to initiate a fight. And you'll notice often in quick play and competitive, you are the key player that decides when the large fight will begin. Communicate clearly when you have Earth Shatter and when you're going to use it, because the stun alone isn't going to secure you lots of kills. The stun in combination with big damage ults of your teammates are what's going to win.
Watch out for Pharahs and Tracers, as they can easily navigate behind your shield and take you out very quickly. Focus on the objective. If at all possible, your main goal is to keep that payload moving or capturing and holding the points. As a Reinhardt, you really need to be careful of enemy Pharahs, McCrees, Junkrats, Reapers, and Tracers. These are all heroes that can easily flank you and take you out. You have to rely on your teammates to prevent those guys from getting behind you and easily ripping you to shreds. You are very good against ranged DPS though, and shut down Soldier 76, Hanzo, Torbjorn, and Widowmakers quite easily. The number one key to success with Reinhardt is understanding your primary role is to block damage for your teammates and allow them to have the maximum potential damage output that they can. Don't be overly aggressive. Initiate fights when the timing is right. That's going to do it for this guide. If I missed anything, let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed, please let me know with a like and subscribe for more videos like this. And remember everyone, catchphrase!